Okay. So today we're going to be talking about one of the more controversial topics when it comes to Dokkan. That, of course, being STR Super Vegito here versus Tech Gogeta. And honestly, I do understand why this is such a controversial topic, to be honest. It is really kind of stupid, some of the things when it comes to both of these cards. People who say Tech Gogeta is better, they say that, STR Vegito, every time he gets touched, he gets raped, he gets his back blown out every time, he gets hit. It's the second coming of Nanjing every time he comes out and he has to actually deal with the enemy. And you say Tech Gogeta, his superior defense, his godly, damage reduction, the rainbow orb changing, just things like that. And if you say Super Vegeta is better, you say, actually Tech Gogeta doesn't do even a 15th of the damage that STR Vegito does with all his counters, because, and he has 10 turns of the super attack scaler effect and whatever nonsense, and he's got a better leader scale or whatever, which, for most people, I think that STR Super Vegeta will be better, strictly because you're probably, like, for free-to-play players, right? Because you're probably not going for dupes with Tech Gogeta, right? You're probably just trying to get your one copy that you got in the discounts, and you're bouncing, or you got, like, a dupe or something. And STR Vegito has just simply been on way more banners, and way, like, better banners. Like, he's been on the 6-year anniversary banners and stuff like that, so... But, getting that out of the side, right? Not taking, like, biases like that, with dupes and stuff into consideration. These units, right? So, I would argue that, that Tech Gogeta being relative to STR Super Vegito is very, very, very stupid. It is currently November 5th, right? And Tech Gogeta, that's when Tech Gogeta came out, November 4th. And STR Vegito, for both Global and JP, came out on, like, August 30th, August 31st of 2020, right? And for these two to be relative to each other is very, very, very dumb. Tech Gogeta should be, like, 5 times better than STR Vegito. It shouldn't even be a discussion, right? It really shouldn't. Like, people want to argue against power creep all the time, but then, like, they call units mid every single time, a unit isn't doing as much damage as GT Goku, right? And, like, GT Goku, like, the GT Dokkan Fest have actually pushed up the power creep so much that, like, people just look at, like, 4 million attack stats and they're like, yeah, that's mid, right? It's just like that now, right? But I would argue that Tech Gogeta, even having an HP restriction at all on his condition, is very, very stupid. He should just be turn 4. Like, I don't understand why it can't be turn 4. It's very nonsensical why he even has an HP restriction. He really did not need one. He's not, like, 5 times better if he has it, right? He's not the best unit in the game. He's not breaking the game if he has it, if he just has turn 4, right? Him only having 5 turns of the super attack scouter effect and his damage reduction and all that nonsense is very retarded. That's actually that's what pisses me off the most about Tech Gogeta, right? They love to compare STR Vegito and they love to compare Vegito and Gogeta in this game all the time, right? They release Gogeta and Vegito units all the time. The 5-year anniversary, the 3-year anniversary. They always love to release Vegito and Gogeta units back to back. And when they do, like, these are counterpart units. There's no way you can argue they're not counterpart units, right? They always try to make them relative to each other, which, like, if you wanted to do that, you should have probably, done something, right? Just done something to, just differentiate them. It's hard to explain, right? Like, they're supposed to be relative to each other, but, like, STR Vegito just has blatantly things that he is superior to. He has 10 turns of the super attack scouter effect, while Gogeta only has 5 turns for no apparent reason. They love to compare Vegito and Gogeta as equals, but they are just inherently unequal right there. Right there. They are unequal. It makes no sense why they are inherently unequal. Gogeta came out after Vegito, so they should not be even. They should not only should Gogeta be, like, not equal to Vegito, he should be way better, and he's not. It's asinine. It's really asinine. I feel like that point was, like, I made that point redundant with the explanation, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? It's just very, like, it's very asinine that Gogeta and Vegito are comparable. I don't think that's controversial at all to say. Like, I mean, this, in, like, when you go into, like a stage that's actually remotely difficult, Vegito, you're going to get Vegito out way more often, right? But, you know, Vegito, he's going to be getting his back blown out, like I said. Which is true. He does get his back blown out. I mean, you can easily hide him, right? It's very easy to hide him, because you know where the super attack scatter effect is. You will occasionally get unlucky, and you'll just be dead no matter what. But barring that, STR Vegito, he's pretty much usually fine, right? And Tech Gogeta, I mean, while you have STR Super Vegito out, and he gives you that heal and stuff, Gogeta's not even out, because he has a very weird active skill condition that he just simply did not need. Yes, you can pop an item and stuff like that, which is fine. That's perfectly acceptable. If you think you can just pop an item and that makes Tech Gogeta better than STR Vegito, all the power to you. I would not disagree with you. I think Tech Gogeta, when he comes out, is better than STR Super Vegito, because he is not only just like way better defensively, and he's making the Rainbow Orb changing, which is like what makes the GT Dokkan Fest so retarded. He also gives a small heal, a tiny heal, right? He's got the Scouter effect. I think I said that, but you know, Vegito, right? He's not. He has the massive heal and the Scouter effect, but he's not invincible himself defensively. Yeah, he's got the retarded amount of damage from the counters, but he can have his legs spread and he can be penetrated, right? So, I mean, that's it. I mean, Vegito, like in base form, right? Angels versus the alive versions. I guess Vegeta's dead technically, but who cares? Who cares? I think that this unit is like way better, right? Like it's honestly not even close to me. Tech Gogeta in base is way better than SCR Vegito in base. They create the Rainbow Orb changing. I'm super lucky with the high chance to create Rainbow Orb changing, so I might be super biased to that. Other than that, they're basically the same unit, except that Gogeta is way better defensively, and neither of them really do that great of damage, so I would argue that their damage is not really that important. These guys can do like 4 million. These guys are often doing around that much too, so I mean, it's not really that. I think that point is kind of redundant. But yeah, their link sets are the exact same sets, but this is actually a pretty big disparity. Vegito only has 8 categories, while Gogeta has 11. That is actually a pretty big deal in the long run, because Gogeta is going to have more usability, right? Which is, again, why Gogeta being so limited is so retarded, right? Like, I saw a theory back when the the worldwide download celebration, I guess we're going to be calling it now, last year for the 2020 in August, or September technically, but I saw a theory that the reason they didn't release a Kid Buu is because, you know, they don't want to start an argument between Kid Buu and Buuhan, which you think is stronger. Which, if you think Kid Buu is stronger, I don't know what you are on. I'm sorry, but like, I'm sorry. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is gonna get his back blown out by Buuhan, right? And he was fighting pretty equally. Kid Buu is definitely stronger, but he was definitely like relative to Kid Buu there. But anyways, that's irrelevant to the topic. They didn't want to start a spark war between that. But Vegito versus Gogeta is the biggest spark war between like casual fans of the Dragon Ball community. Even like more hardcore fans, like people are like, nah, Vegito's the superior fusion. No, Gogeta's the superior fusion, right? All the goddamn time. It's just like that. When you're a fan of the series, you're gonna have your own biases, right? That's why like them being like comparable, relative is just so moronic. I don't get it. I mean, pretty much like Vegito, and also another thing is that Gogeta, like his damage is really, it's honestly pretty good. Like I would not lie. He's at 55%. He's doing around like 4 million, and he's got pretty much a guaranteed crit. So he's doing like 8 million in pretty much raw attack stat, which is very, very good, obviously. But S tier Vegito, right? Like his damage is pretty much unrivaled. Like there's really nothing that can top this guy once he comes out. Like, if you want to pop an item and you just say, okay, well, I'm going to pop an item and S tier Vegito is going to be good, the enemy is pretty much dead by the time, if he gets like 7, 8 counters on them, like, it's retarded. The damage he's doing, Gogeta is just simply not doing that much damage. People don't like to hear that, but it's just true, right? They should have given him something to buff his damage a little bit more. I would have liked. Maybe like guaranteed additional. Like he does everything he does right now, and then just give him a guaranteed additional super attack. That would have been pretty good. Something else they could have done, I don't know. I don't really think that he needs dodge because he already has damage reduction. It feels redundant to give a unit damage reduction and dodge. Maybe they could have upped his damage reduction, like damage reduced by 50%. Because even with the damage reduction, like, Gogeta is not invincible, right? He can still take damage. Sometimes, like, especially in, like, like, I feel like he would get destroyed by, like, who? Grade 8 Kid Goku, right? Grade 8 Kid Goku in Legendary Goku event, who is one of the hardest hitting bosses in the entire game. When I say this, I obviously mean on super attacks. Obviously, he's not going to get touched by normal attacks. I feel like he'd get hit pretty hard against him. And, I mean, that's just not good for Gogeta, right? I definitely would argue that Gogeta's animations absolutely slap the donkey shit out of Vegito, right? It's not even close. Like, I'm sorry, it's really not. Vegito's 18 key is like the best animation in the entire game, or his active seal. It's really just... Gogeta's animations are definitely better, and like I like the shading on their art. I definitely like their art a lot more because like look, like Vegito looks like I don't know like the word for it. I think it's like glossy, right? Like he has a matte to him, like matte. Is that the word? Yeah, he looks like really cool right there, right? Like I don't know, I like it. I love their art here, right? And I also love how this is irrelevant to like the actual comparison, but I do like how Goku has blood on his arm there. I'd never noticed that. I think Goku, this character, might have been the first character with blood in their actual art. But, anyways. Yeah. So, well, actually, he may not have. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the Majin Buu Saga / Battle of West team is definitely a better team than Time Limit and Connected Hope. It doesn't make any sense why they introduced Time Limit, because Dokkan thinks that the hype, the newest, godliest, newest thing, the greatest thing ever done by Dokkan is to release new categories, right? When it's simply not. Like, I don't understand why they didn't just make him a Final Trump Card leader, or a movie hero leader, or what else? Hell, they could have been a pure Saiyan leader, right? I know S tier Super Vegito is the leader, but like, I mean, Tech Gogeta would have been the best. Like, if Tech Gogeta was the pure Saiyan leader, this would be the most valuable unit in the entire game. There's no discussion. Like, this would be the best unit. I would argue this would be the best unit in the game if they were a pure Saiyan leader, but they're not. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it really does come down to how you play. If you're not really, like, you don't care about using items, Tech Gogeta is probably better. If you care about, being a god in difficult content or whatever, right? S tier Vegito is probably better. I mean, I really don't want to get into it because, like, it's so controversial. I personally think that probably S tier Vegito is probably better, not because of like him, like his damage or anything. Not even necessarily because of his because of his super attack starter effect and all that stuff when he transforms. I just liked his leader skill a lot better, right? Time Limit is definitely a good team, but like Fusion honestly is not that good. Like, I'm not gonna cap, Fusion is really not that good of a team. This is basically the Fusion team. The Potara / Fusion team are really not that good compared to like the Buu Saga, right? Like the Buu Saga is like incredible. Like, it's a really top tier team. I think the Buu Saga is starting to slowly wane a little bit, mainly because like most of the units have aged. Like, they're starting to age, right? Who's a good example? Like Int Gotenks, right? Int Gotenks and Tech Exchange, right? They've already started to age. Who else? Tech Gohan is God. He hasn't even. Tech Gohan is better now than he was on release, and that is godly. So is STR Vegito. These two are like really good, but they're not like top tier. Buhan is really, really good, but he needs a new Buu. Gohan and Goten, I would argue they just flat out suck. These guys need an easy A, no offense. They're cool, but they just need an easy A. The Bio Broly units are actually pretty good advancements to this team. And Battle of Wits is honestly, Battle of Wits is actually a pretty good secondary category. I'm not gonna cap. But I mean, well, I mean, when you really think about it, is this leader skill all that, huh? I mean, this team really can be any difficult content, I would imagine. But like, I feel like the Hybrid Saiyan team is probably just better than this team. Like, that might be like a hot take, but like, I don't know, man. The Hybrid Saiyan team is stupid at this point. I mean, actually, now that I think about that, I feel like their leader skills are a bit more comparable now, right? Because Connected Hope is kind of dog water, not gonna lie. But, I mean, it does have Easy A Bardock on it. Easy A Bardock is probably the best unit, besides Tech Gogeta, obviously, on this category. Easy A Bardock is a dominant beast of a unit. Time Limit, like I said, is just, like, mid. Like, it's not the team is mid, it's that right now the units are mid on the team. Like, that's the problem with Final Trump Card, the leaders suck. And Fusions, like, I'd argue that Fusions are, like, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is really good, Tech Gogeta is really good, S tier Super Vegeta is really good. Other than that, who's, like, really, really, really good on this team? Like, I would argue there's not really anybody. Okay, like, Cooler. Yeah, Cooler's really good, right? But Cooler's not on Time Limit, actually. I'm on the wrong team, goddammit. But yeah, other than that, like, who's, like, really, really dominant? Like, there's some solid options, yeah. But are there any units that are just like, wow, them being on here, that adds a bajillion percentage to this category, right? Like, Dokkan Fest Angel Freezes are still really good, but, like, I don't know, man. No, I'm starting to think that their leader skills, like, when you really think about it, like, Trunks and Goten have a retarded leader skill, right? Kale and Caulifla have a retarded leader skill, right? SCR Super Vegeta has a retarded leader skill, right? The GT Dokkan Fest have retarded leader skills. Like, I'd almost argue that their leader skills are just better than both of these units, huh? That's kind of, that might be crazy for me to say, but I don't know. Man. But yeah, I mean, that's, I don't really know what else to say. Tech Gogeta, his design is really poor, I would argue. That it's very niche. This HP restriction definitely did not need to be there. This should be 10 turns, scatter effect. Other than that, it's really my main point. Like, it's the same problem with LR Evolution Blue Vegeta, right? When you compare, like, is LR Evolution Blue Vegeta good? Yes. Is LR Evolution Blue Vegeta comparable to UI Goku? I would argue no. It's the same thing for Tech Gogeta, except there are definitely a lot, like, STR Vegito and Tech Gogeta are definitely a lot closer than UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, but I'd argue it's like the same damn thing. Like, only it's way worse because Tech Gogeta came out 15 goddamn months after STR Vegito, so they should not be comparable. They should be flat out better, like I've been saying. But I don't know. I don't know what else to really say that I haven't said already, and I don't want to like go on a tangent repeating myself for like 15 minutes, but I mean, I practically already have, huh? But I mean, I don't know. That's gonna be it for me. Thanks for stopping by.